Hello roofing contractors, this is Adib and Jeff and we're with Roof Coating Supply. We have some really good information on TPO commercial roofing systems. Let's start off with, Jeff, if you were to install a TPO roof system, there's a lot of different ways you can install one. How would you install the system?
First off, I like TPO. I've done a lot of roofs that are TPOs systems. One of the things that I always advise is, with my clients, is always do a fully adherent system. The reason is, if you don't do a fully adherent system, you'll get a lot of wind. What I learned years ago is there's a thing called uplift, and that'll stretch that membrane out. A lot of guys loose lay things, they don't do their corners properly, but that's the first thing I would do. I would do a fully adhered system. I always do.
When you're installing or doing a roof restoration, installing new construction or restoring a commercial TPO roof project, what are some details that you would watch out for specifically on a project?
Well, there's one big detail that a lot of guys make a mistake doing, and I see it all the time over my years of roofing. A lot of guys don't want to spend the money on the seam tape, which the manufacturers require on your edge metal. For example, they'll put the membrane down, they'll put the metal over it, which is your edge metal, sometimes it's even your gutter metal, and I'm not talking about your wall flashing, I'm just talking about your general edge detail. And then they'll come back and caulk it, or they'll do nothing. When they do nothing, water will eventually begin to penetrate that. The reason they do nothing is they don't want to spend the money on the seam tape. The seam tape's very, very expensive. It's $250 to $300 a roll, and you have to primer it and install it properly. That's the most critical part of installing a TPO roof, in my opinion.
Okay, and what would you say the lifespan is of a TPO flat roof?
Well, that's pretty up in the air right now. Manufacturer's warranty on 60 mil is typically up to 20 years. Some systems that are 120 mil even go beyond the 20-year period. But in my opinion, I think that the lifespan of a TPO roof falls somewhere between 12 to 16 years.
Okay, thank you for that. And let's talk about disadvantages. Is there any disadvantages to a TPO roof system? It's very popular in the market these days.
There's a lot of disadvantages to TPO system. I think the first disadvantage is when you install one, and say you're doing a job that's 20,000 square feet, you could easily have 1,000 feet of seams. When you have 1,000 feet of seams, you're relying on that your labor properly welded everything together. It's difficult to use what I refer to as upholstery work around the curb flashings. Sometimes when you go up the walls, you'll put a T-bar up, and then you've got to deal with fasteners that go through that wall system, whether it's tilt wall, solid concrete, brick, or even stucco in some cases. Those are some of the disadvantages on the install. As far as the product goes itself, it's easy to cut. It's very, very easy to cut. And sometimes an installer can literally cut the membrane and not know that he cut the membrane below where he was cutting, and those cuts will show up years later. When you're doing a full warranty system, the inspector will actually come out and look for cuts in the membrane that might not have been seen during the install. That's one of the issues. The other issues with TPO is it's not a hail impact resistance product. Now, the manufacturers are offering hail warranties if you do a dense deck or some other product underneath to give it a little bit more substantial impact resistant. But I personally don't like the product from that regard. It's especially in our market, as much as we have hail, a lot of guys will sell it and say, well, the good thing is you can come back and do another layer over it. Yes, you can, and that is one of the advantages. But then when you do another layer over it, guess what you just lost? You just lost your fully adhered system, because generally they're not going to glue it back over the existing system.
All right, well that wraps it up for today's lesson on TPO commercial roofing systems. I'll see you guys on the next episode. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to stop by our office or give us a call.